Hey everyone, welcome back to your My Ninja Academy. Today we are going to go through Himawari using the 8 trigram 64 palms, Neji's technique. If you would like to see more about Naruto on our channel, please leave your thumbs up and subscribe to join our Ninja Academy. And continuing with another Boruto video, this time talking about a very curious topic that may come true in the future if we have a greater focus on Himawari, Naruto Uzumaki's youngest daughter, and her powers. Without a doubt, one of the greatest hopes of the audience is to see Himawari gaining more and more prominence within the work, whether it's being able to use an absurd amount of chakra as a Uzumaki or learning special techniques of the Hyuuga clan, thanks to the presence of her Byakugan, awakened relatively early in the work. Given this, something we may wonder is, would she be able to learn one of the most famous and powerful techniques of the Hyuuga clan, the 8 trigram 64 palms? In today's video, we will find out that perhaps our little Uzumaki has the capabilities to go as far as her uncle Neji or her mother Hinata, and maybe even surpass them. When we talk about the presence of a character who is considered a prodigy in Naruto, one of the first things to be highlighted is usually the ability to learn ninjutsus with great ease. Because of this, in the Ninja Academy, or even before that, some were already capable of using jutsus, or mastering techniques with mastery, which surprised everyone around them, and made them gain fame, and, most of the time, fear in relation to their powers. One of the most famous cases, for sure, is Uchiha Itachi, who at a young age learned the Fireball Jutsu, just by seeing it once, and entered the Anbu at a young age. Kakashi Hatake was also quite remarkable in his childhood, for besides being trained by Minato Namikaze, another prodigy of his time, he was able to graduate from the Ninja Academy at the age of 5, and win the Chunin title at the age of 6. Of course, at that time, the need for powerful and young ninjas was extremely high, due to the large amount of wars and deaths, so the search for people who would go to the battlefield and give the country a chance for victory, even at the cost of many lives, was gigantic. However, as was highlighted many times in Boruto, nowadays, there is no longer a need for all children to become ninjas, given the peace they live in thanks to mainly Naruto Uzumaki and his great deeds. We have even had some emphasis on this in episodes featuring Himawari, who is trying to find her own path and what she wants for her future. However, should we consider the character to become a ninja in the future, one thing we can be sure of: Himawari will be a real standout among the youngsters. We can easily state this just by observing her steps throughout the Boruto anime and her small highlights. Let's start by talking about her natural abilities, just as a direct descendant of the Hyuuga and Uzumaki. As an Uzumaki, Himawari possesses a naturally strong life force, which gives her stamina, large chakra reserves, and tremendous vitality, which would allow her to be able to use ninjutsus long term and live for many, many years, as was the case with her Uzumaki's ancestors. We can also imagine that Himawari, like her father Naruto, might be able to detect bad energies. However, perhaps because of her genetic mix with the Hyuuga, this technique so unique to the clan will not develop in her, but it would be extremely interesting to explore. One important piece of information to note here is about the scratches on Himawari and Boruto's cheeks. This does not imply that they necessarily possess the chakra of our late beloved Kurama. It's just a representation of how the chakra of the Nine Tails was able to physically alter the two characters, just as was the case with Naruto and the brothers Kinkaku and Ginkaku, who ingested Kyuubi to survive, and thus had their bodies modified. Well, with these abilities united, and considering that she would masterfully control them depending on who trained her, and how well she developed, it would make her become a remarkable and fearsome ninja. In fact, she already is. At age 3, the young girl was able to awaken her Byakugan without any training, something that was required to properly trigger in the past, and was able to knock out Naruto with just one direct hit when using her dojutsu. Himawari proves to be a frightening and focused person, terrorizing not only Boruto, but also the nine-tailed fox. Considering this point, Himawari may be able to achieve deceptive speed, as she was even able to hit and knock out Naruto when her guard was down, even though she was so young and without any previous training. she also proves to have uncommon strength, as just this episode, she was able to throw Boruto out of the room. Remember, she was 3 years old. This ability of chakra self-control, making her able to mold and release chakra through any and all tenketsu of her body, surely came from her mother. In this way, she can easily and quickly deliver more powerful blows. The young girl also has a degree of efficiency in using the gentle fist, just like her mother. According to Hinata, she may be able to knock a person unconscious with just one blow. Boruto can also use the technique masterfully. However, he uses his creativity and intelligence to mix elements and create new fighting techniques, which also allows him a different style suitable for himself. That said, if we imagine that Himawari also becomes creative in fighting, using and abusing the techniques she has learned, and perhaps with a push from her older brother, becomes capable of creating techniques of her own as well, we can easily imagine how powerful she will become. This is not exclusively a Hyuga skill, but there is a possibility that Himawari will learn healing techniques. Hinata, with her Byakugan, was able to heal and help her fellow fighters. We can assume that the young girl, at the very least, could learn the basics for her missions. One rather interesting thing about this issue is that some fans speculate that Sakura might become her master in the future, since Boruto trains with Sasuke and Sarada, although not training with Naruto, admires him deeply. The two characters have interacted a few times in the anime, and show they have a good relationship. Would this be possible? Leave in the comments your opinion about it. Another Hyuga ability is the ability to see 360 degrees with a degree of telescopic sight. The distance and degree varies greatly from person to person. Neji was able to see 50 meters, and with training was able to see up to 800 meters, while Hinata became able to see for up to 10 kilometers. Of course, we cannot assume that because her mother had this ability, Himawari would surpass her. However, it is one of the possibilities, considering that the Hyuga are always amazing and the ideal members to count on in tracking missions. Now that we've recalled all this information, let's finally get to the question that won't shut up. Would Himawari be able to learn the 8 trigram 64 palms? The answer is yes. With just the little we've seen of the character, being only 10 years old, we could tell that she has great and easy chakra control, being able to use the gentle fist style as well as her mother with proper training, and possessing a strong combat sensitivity while using her Byakugan. And of course, we can't forget her untrained awakening. Himawari can learn the technique in the near future. Of course, this would require proper training, certainly quite rigorous. But considering her ability to hit tenketsus throughout her body since she was 3 years old, her speed, the early and untrained awakening of her Byakugan, her strength and vitality as a Uzumaki, the possibilities are great. Since the 8 trigram 32 palm is a technique of the gentle fist fighting style, to which both Boruto and Himawari are already familiar, and considering that the young girl's fighting style leans more toward the Hyuga than the Uzumaki, here considering that Boruto would resemble Naruto in combat and Himawari would resemble her mother more, we can deduce that learning the technique would come soon, right when she becomes skilled enough. Remembering also that this girl has an unknown strength and an absurd chakra reserve and control. I don't even want to get close to her when she's ready for combat. We can even dream high and bet even more on the talents of the future shinobi, and imagine if she could evolve her skills and physique to be able to use the 828 trigram palms. Although it is of extreme difficulty and very dangerous, it would be amazing to imagine her learning the technique from her uncle Neji, no? If you think about it, there has always been a great connection between Naruto's children and the late Hyuga. From Boruto's name to how dedicated Himawari was in carrying the flowers to her uncle's grave, could this be a small hint for what's to come for them? Well, in light of all this evidence of Himawari's talent for combat, another question remains. Would she be able to reach the level and perhaps even surpass her mother and Neji in the near future? It is still too early to say for sure, but one thing we can say, Himawari has gigantic potential as an ninja and could become one of the strongest of the new generation, alongside other prodigies like Satoru Uchiha. With the arrival of the time skip in the manga, which we look forward to being soon, we will no doubt get a chance to see how much the character has developed over the years, and what else they have in store for her in the future. But what about you? Do you think Himawari can, in fact, surpass her mother and her uncle Neji? Would she be able to learn the 8 trigram 64 palm? Leave your opinion about our Uzumaki in the comments. That's it. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any suggestions for videos, don't forget to comment here below, because I'll be reading all of them as I always do. Also, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any content from your favorite Ninja Academy.